Get ready to indulge in a world of pure chocolate bliss. Join us as we journey to the heart of the Philippine chocolate industry and discover Malagos Chocolate. From tree to bar, we'll uncover the secrets of their award-winning treats and how one woman's passion put the Philippine chocolate on the world map.
We have to encourage consumers to buy their chocolates from local producers. As long as you're supporting the industry, people will be encouraged to participate in planting cacao. Farmers and people in the industry, continue innovating and continue your hard work. Your success is our success.
We are now open for business.
It is a signal to the world. We are open for business.
Dedication and passion helped elevate one of the Philippines' most beloved chocolate brands to international acclaim. Today, we are joined by the head of sales and marketing at Malagos Chocolate, a part of Malagos Agri-Ventures Corporation, a company that has become synonymous with premium quality, sustainably produced chocolates that celebrate the vast cacao industry. No wonder it has been recognized internationally as among the best. Our guest hails from a family with a deep-rooted legacy in agriculture and innovation. As a third-generation Puentespina, he carries forward a tradition of excellence, bringing a fresh perspective and dynamic energy to the role. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to the head of sales and marketing of Malagos Chocolate, a passionate advocate for Philippine cacao, and the proud torchbearer of the Puentespina legacy, Jam Puentespina Jr. Welcome to Open for Business. How are you, Jam?
Good, thank you for having me.
I mean, off cam, we were talking about this episode where I was able to interview Rex as well. And when I asked you how are you related, somehow I was surprised. So how is business handling from second generation to the third generation, which I think is a very good legacy that can be really appreciated by a lot of Filipinos, especially the ones who are also family-owned?
It's been fun. My background is really in sales and business development. Before I was working for the family business, so it was more about how to apply my skills where I learned elsewhere into a context of chocolate and being a homegrown brand. So it's been fun.
So hindi ka rin talaga nagsimula agad doon sa family business nyo, Jam?
No, I had a few years of experience with other companies in different industries as well.
Is that also a trend? Alam mo, Jam, it's not only you who I met when you who had that experience na parang hindi sila agad pumupunta doon sa family business. Sometimes they explore other areas in other industries. Like in your case, even if the opportunity is there in the family business, somehow you wanted to try other industries. Is that really your plan before you venture into the business, family business?
Yeah, that was always my plan prior to coming into Malagos Chocolate. I wanted to see what else was out there before really like committing to something like this. So yeah, I think it kind of informed me of how to work, how to set a standard for myself outside of the family business, and then when it was time, I was able to apply those skills.
Was there pressure also from family business, like Rex, telling you to join immediately? As I interview a lot of businesses also who somehow have the same experience, there is sometimes a clamor for other members to join immediately because of the demand. Especially if it's a family business, they want people they trust.
In my case, it wasn't as immediate. When I graduated from university, I was kind of allowed to explore my own thing and do my own thing. But after the pandemic, there was a time when we kind of lacked manpower, and then my dad was the one who requested, like, hey, we need some help. Maybe it's time for you to have a stake in the company. So that was kind of the beginning of my involvement at least.
I was able also to speak with the Department of Trade and Industry Undersecretary Chris Roque, who is now really pushing for MSE development. And one of the major thrusts of DTI Undersecretary Chris Roque is to promote MSMEs, for them to be recognized and be able to really inspire other businesses as well. And the good news is that the company, Malagos, received the Presidential Award for Outstanding MSME in the medium category. I think it was no less than the President who awarded that. So, ano yung pakiramdam na meron kayong Presidential Award for an outstanding MSME?
Yeah, it was a very proud moment for sure. I was there at the ceremony in Malacanang with my dad and my grandmother, who was the one who started this whole thing. And I was very happy for the both of them because they built this company from the ground up and were able to apply the natural bounty of the land in Davao into something that people from Davao and the Philippines can identify with as something that is truly ours. So for them to have that recognition from the President, no less, is a very proud moment.
Now, you mentioned about your father and your grandmother, correct? Miss Charita Puentespina.
Yes, that's correct.
Maaari bang ikwento mo paano ba ito sinimulan at ipinaglaban na maging priority crop ang cacao? Kasi based on our research here, there's a lot of things about the Philippine cacao, which is really exemplary. And so far, you are taking the lead in putting cacao and putting the Philippine chocolate in the global map. Can you walk us through on the journey to international success?
I think it all begins with my grandmother and my grandfather, because when they were starting out in the 60s and 70s, when they were building their own businesses, my grandmother was really involved in the agriculture scene. And her background is really in cut flowers and ornaments and tropical plants. So she was doing that for a while. And in the 80s, there was a resurgence of the waling-waling, which is an endemic orchid here in the Philippines.
And that is also a thriving industry.
Yes, that's correct.
That business, cut flower business.
Yeah, so my grandmother is actually credited for the resurgence of that, of the waling-waling. So yung background niya is very strong in agriculture and planting things, like very much a green thumb in all ways. Eventually, in the 90s, they were building an ecotourism park called Malagos Garden Resort. And in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, they were able to expand the land adjacent to the resort. And there were existing cacao trees there. That was kind of the genesis of their journey in cacao. So when that land was acquired, she decided to, hey, sayang naman yung mga puno na to, can I do something about this? So she started rehabilitating it, studying the processes for the cacao to reach like a very high standard. So she was doing that for a few years, and then fast forward to 2012, she alongside my father founded Malagos Chocolate. So there was an 8-year runway from when she started with cacao up until she decided to create her own brand.
That's a very impressive summary. But I'm just curious on this expansion or probably diversification, di ba? From cut flower to cacao. Pero sabi nga nila, Jam, pag green thumb ka daw, kahit na ano ang itanim mo, di ba? Tsaka ang Philippines naman ay very conducive for cacao production. Was that a big transition from cut flower to cacao?
I think for her at the time, it was a very natural transition. It was also a combination of different factors because cacao does not grow everywhere in the world. It only grows around the equator. And Davao is, in one of the southernmost parts of the Philippines. So the very tropical climate, everything is conducive to crop growth. And it just so happened that the land that they had acquired already had trees there. It was just a matter of someone to take care of it. Different combination of things that kind of set us up for success, almost 2 decades down the line,
You mentioned that Davao is really conducive for this production and dapat yung malapit talaga sa equator.
Yeah.
Pero dito sa Pilipinas, do you have other plantations? Are you eyeing cacao production, or what other plantations or lands where you grow cacao aside from Davao?
I think there are different areas around the Philippines already that are also growing cacao. But for our use, we are planning to focus our efforts within the Davao region. There have been a little bit of expansion just nearby the farm, but that's as far as we've gone so far.
Can you give us also an insight, what's the difference between, I know that you have this market research or market competition as well, but has there been a difference between the quality of the cacao produced in Davao versus the ones grown or produced in other areas of the Philippines?
Well, I can only speak on behalf of what's in Davao, but I would say the amount of sunlight that our area gets, the amount of rainfall, the elevation from sea level, and even the neighboring fruits, all of these factors come into play. Very region-based, and everyone is talking about origin. Also, where was your grapes? Where's your vineyard? Where, like, malapit ba siya sa tubig? Is it, how much sunlight does it get? May winter ba dun? Or all of these different things. So cacao is very much the same thing. So everything around the fruits influence the flavor. So I guess Davao just has that when it comes to cacao.
Pero Jam, I'm just curious, if we want to establish the Philippines for the cacao industry, bringing it to the world market, do you think there's enough land, there's enough supply, so that we can serve the needs of the world market? Because here, parang sinasabi dito, in terms of historical significance, in terms of industry structure, production hub. Although our research says that the Davao region is the primary cacao producing area in the Philippines, and that's 80% of the total output.
Yeah.
Pero yun ba nakakasapat, Jam? Or do you think there are other ways to expand that in other areas?
I think there's definitely room for expansion. I think it's just a matter of market education locally, domestically, that, we have to encourage consumers to buy their chocolates from local producers. It doesn't even have to be from Malagos, but as long as you're supporting the industry, people will be encouraged to participate in planting cacao.
Paano kayo nakakatulong ngayon sa local community? Kasi sabi mo nga, parang even if it's Malagos or non-Malagos, but as long as you support the local entrepreneurs or the local producers, in terms of supporting local farmers and creating jobs, can you walk us through with this effort? And I think that is one of the reasons why you got this presidential award as outstanding MSME in the medium scale category.
I agree that our community efforts really the biggest contributor to our presidential award. I think the industry wouldn't be where it is today without the efforts of my dad and my grandmother in 2012 when they were first starting the brand. And as for our efforts now, we contribute to the community by having the Malagos Cacao Development Center, which is a purchasing area outside our farm where neighboring farmers could sell us their wet beans. So that way, we can, support yung mga neighboring farmers na ensuring them na may mabebentahan sila ng produce nila. And at the same time, we also provide extension services to them and teach them good agricultural practices.
So no need for a middleman, parang ganyan.
Yes,
so at least
exactly.
That center is parang, basically it's a market, and you directly, and the producers go directly to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's also single origin because they're also from our neighboring areas. So the flavor profile is more or less the same. So it kind of works for us also. We get to use it in our products.
And Jam, I like what you said when you say you also teach them tips, diba? Production tips, because I understand, especially if the Philippine chocolate has to reach a standard, not at par, but it could be better than the foreign brands. Ano yung example ng mga itinuturo ninyo sa mga farmers to ensure that they would also sell you the high quality that passes your standards?
We teach them a lot of the fermentation practices and drying processes that require cacao to be at a global standard. And That way, at the end of the production process, when we buy the raw material from them, we can ensure then na, okay, maganda yung raw material that we're using for our product. So, it works both ways. Like, we get to share this knowledge with them, and at the same time, supplement yung supply that we grow ourselves.
So how much are we supplying, maybe not necessarily from your own, but maybe industry data? Gaano ba kalaki yung Philippine chocolate industry at nasaan na tayo? At may pag-asa pa bang mapalaki yung sinusupply natin? Kasi katulad sabi mo nga, our bananas are known internationally, even our mangoes. Pero the first time I got this encounter with the Puentespinas, doon lang ako na-educate na how important the role is of the cacao industry in our economy. So, how are we getting there in terms of our contribution to maybe siguro the Philippine chocolate industry muna and then the global trade?
To use your example as the bananas or halimbawa dried mangoes, we are not yet at that scale, na for exports, and then we're looking at really big markets in Japan and in the US. I definitely believe that there is a potential for the Philippine cacao industry to go in that direction, but I think malayo pa.
Pero which countries na jam are we supplying with our cacaos? Are we supplying both? Ano ba yan? Parang raw materials din sinusupply natin o meron na ring finished products?
So, for us, we have supplied the raw material to other countries around Southeast Asia. But in terms of the finished product, we've exported to Singapore, Japan, Hong Kong, sa States, and a very little bit sa UK and in Germany. But other than that, we haven't had the chance to explore kasi our supply just can't match the volume that exporting requires. We also want to take care of our domestic clients. So, it's a balancing act between ubusin ba natin yung stocks natin just to supply this client in Japan, or do we want to take care of everyone else na clients na dito?
So, ibig sabihin, Jam, dito pa lang sa Pilipinas, parang malaki na rin yung demand natin.
Malaki na yung demand, but I would say that it's more of a supply issue. Like, there's not enough, at least for us, there is not enough supply to satisfy the demand at this point. So, kaya kami nahihirapan, and that's one of the challenges that we face now.
You mentioned about exporting to these countries. So far, how's the feedback? Based on our research, you're getting awards recognized as one of the best 50 beans in the world. That was some years ago. And then there's this recognition of the taste and the quality of chocolates made of cacao. Ano yung feedback coming from them? How is our chocolate compared to the other brands?
The feedback that we've gotten for our products is very good. And I think the numerous awards that we've gotten internationally since we started prove that and validate that. So, in terms of flavor, kayang-kaya talaga to compete on an international level. But in terms of selling it there, I think is another question, because air freight is expensive coming from the Philippines. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows that. So once it lands, for example, in the US, the value, it just skyrockets. Like, for retailers in the States to participate and be enticed to sell our products, medyo hirap na, because, for example, a bar, I'm just giving a random number. Halimbawa, $20 na for a chocolate bar. For them to sell it at that price, it might be not worth the hassle for them. So to compete with that, kailangan numbers game na siya. So we have to fill a containers worth para maging maganda yung cost for them to bring it there. But at the same time, to fill a container is a lot of chocolate as well. So different layers of that problem.
Yes. Pero with these challenges, Jam, and you being already the leader in this industry, what support would you think is needed so that both government and the private sector also can help?
On the government side, government agencies should be subsidizing farmers that want to get into cacao, set them up and kind of help them lower the barrier to enter, cacao planting. Parang help them out with seedlings, supply them with planting materials, education then in classes of how to ferment and dry the products. On the private side naman, I think the regular consumer should, participate in the industry by buying local talaga. Yeah.
So kasi bakit nga ba minsan siyempre alam naman natin pag Pinoy, 'di ba? Parang pag branded 'yon, yung binibili nila, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Pero has there been studies from your end to make our Philippine chocolates more appealing in terms of I don't know if is it taste or is it the packaging or is it the branding? So how do you describe the Philippine chocolate or the chocolate consumers? Are they clamoring for, I love chocolates as well, Jam, and my wife also loves chocolates. But meron ba tayong hinahanap talaga or ang Pinoy ba doon sa taste buds nila? Talagang ano ba yung panlasa ng Pinoy pagdating sa tsokolate?
Speaking on a general level, I think people are looking for something sweet, something that I'm gonna use like grocery store chocolates, for example, or candy bars. People have been conditioned to believe that chocolate is supposed to taste like that. But in Malagos' case, we're primarily a dark chocolate brand, so it won't be as sweet, but it's also healthy.
Pag dark chocolate,
pag
diba?
Dark chocolate, yes. So because it's minimal sugar, and if you notice on the back of our packaging, our chocolates probably have like 4 or 5 ingredients. So.
And those ingredients are? Meaning, parang what does it do? What are the benefits with those ingredients?
Anti-inflammatory, and if you have pre-existing conditions, for example, diabetes, it's somewhat safe.
So there's a lot of healthy benefits then.
Yeah.
Parang parang like say, if you want to control, your sugar intake, this brand is for you.
Definitely,
I see.
For comparison, I mentioned we have 4 or 5 ingredients.
Okay.
A normal grocery store chocolate would have 20.
Oh.
So there's different kinds of oils in them, and if you're trying to watch what you eat and trying to watch your health, I would recommend looking into what are the ingredients they use. So
I see. So a lot of artificial siguro, parang ganyan. But what you're saying is parang with lesser ingredients, parang this is pure. Parang this is pure cacao. So, something that's very healthy.
Yeah.
I see. One of the major achievements that you had, and that's the reason why we believe that you were also recognized with the Presidential Award, are your sustainable farming practices. Paano ba yun? When we define kasi sustainability, di ba, parang we make sure that there's available resources for the future generation as well.
Yeah.
So what are these sustainable farming practices implemented at Malagos?
If we're talking about the process that we practice strictly, we have very strict fermentation and drying facilities that really monitor what goes in and out of our facilities. In terms of sorting also, we're very strict. We don't mix good beans with defective ones, so we have this whole process that goes through that. And we also embrace biodiversity at the farm level as well. So if you look at pictures of the farm, or if you're ever able to go one time, I think for every maybe 4 to 6 cacao trees, we have 1 coconut tree that's surrounding them. So it's a very symbiotic relationship between the trees that we have. I think this also imparts some of the flavor that you can taste in the chocolate products.
So there's 1 cacao tree halimbawa, tapos
so there's 1 big coconut tree, and then sa baba ng coconut tree, there are probably 5 to 6 cacao trees underneath.
Pero yung coconut trees ninyo, parang ano rin yun? Kumbaga, I mean, this is also, you're expecting production as well? Are you also...
We also harvest from the coconut trees, but it's definitely not at the same level as the cacao.
Yes. For what purpose? Are these for production of other products as well?
Currently, we're not using it to produce, but we sell them...
Parang as coconuts?
Yeah, as coconuts, yeah.
I see. Yeah. No, that's good. But I'm sure there's also good output there. But what you're saying, Jam, is that there's some sort of diversification din, di ba?
Yes.
Kumbaga yun
Yeah.
ang problema. Dapat minsan, in other farms, di ba? Parang they maximize it. So, hindi lang pang
Yeah.
sa crop na yun, di ba?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of uses as well. Okay. There's this, one uniqueness of Malagos as well. Malagos is known for its unique single origin Trinitario cacao beans. Ano ba yun? And why did you choose Trinitario?
Trinitario is a variety of cacao. The long and short answer why we chose it is because they were already there in the farm. So going back to my story about my grandmother in the early 2000s, she started cultivating the existing trees on the property. They were already Trinitario. So I guess that kind of stuck to our identity as a company. And, it's worked out for us since then. So, yeah.
Is this unique to Malagos? Parang,
No, it's not
hindi
a
naman.
unique variety.
Another thing is this heirloom cacao. Heirloom cacao is considered the diamond of cacao, wherein the trees and beans are weighed on its history, cultural, botanical, geographic, and flavorful value. This is a major achievement as well, and it speaks of your craftsmanship and the mastery of this product. How does it feel to be awarded with that?
It definitely validates what we do on the farm level because all of the other awards are concerning the end product already. So to have an award like the Heirloom Cacao designation is something to be really proud of, and it's only unique to us in the Philippines. So we're the only heirloom cacao farm in the country currently. And maybe I could also give a little background about what it means then. So
Yeah, go ahead.
the Heirloom Cacao Award, or rather the designation, is from the Heirloom Cacao Preservation Fund. So it's a non-profit organization by the Fine Chocolate Industry Association. They're based in the States, and their mission is to preserve the unique varieties of cacao around the world. So they have researchers, they go around certain parts of Latin America and in Africa and Asia looking for varieties of cacao that are worth preserving. So they identify the
Pero ang ganda nun.
biology of the cacao, identify na this is important, we have to save this, and this is unique to the region. So we actually have a product. It's called the 72% heirloom bar. So with that, we only use the beans that are harvested from the heirloom trees.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, umbaga siguro para mas madali ma-explain sa mga nanonood sa atin, parang ano ba yan? Parang heritage site. Parang ganun ba yun? So, kumbaga
yeah.
heritage site ka na para, like say for example, that's unique to this country.
Yeah.
And they will help to protect and preserve that. Tama?
Yes, that's correct.
I think I asked this earlier, pero what makes the Malagos chocolate different from the other chocolates in the market? With these awards, which is already a testament din naman of the high quality of your chocolates. But again, when we compare it with the other chocolates in the market, how different is it? But of course, I like what you mentioned. You have, somehow with these 5 ingredients and its health benefits, diba?
Yeah.
That is a major advantage. But can you cite other uniqueness of the Malagos chocolate?
So I think every tree-to-bar or specialty chocolate manufacturer is definitely unique in their own way. But what makes us different is of the origin of the cacao. So we only use beans that are located around their area. And because of the terroir and because of the weather and the sunlight and rainfall that we get throughout the year, it imparts a fruity, citrusy, and somewhat also acidic flavor profile. So because of the unique factors that come into play with the environment in our farm, all of these contribute to what make us Malagos.
For some people, Jam, di ba, parang there's a lot of, like they call it, chocolate is a chocolate. Parang apple is an apple is an apple. Parang ganun din ba yan sa chocolate? Unless you are, someone expert in chocolate or in drinks, di ba, you will know the difference. So in your case, Can you tell us more about your product lines? Like, say, there are people, di ba, parang you see sometimes even in grocery stores, in department stores, di ba, there's a whole line of section for chocolates alone, di ba?
Yeah.
So, are you addressing specific product lines for specific consumers? Kasi I appreciate what you said. O, kapag ikaw ay health conscious, o di doon, you get the, you get the, what type of chocolate is that? The dark chocolate.
The unsweetened chocolate, yes.
Ayun.
Yeah.
So, what are your product lines and who are you addressing it to in terms of consumers?
During the genesis of the brand, our main target market was really the HoReCa industry. So that's hotels, restaurants, and caterers. That's really our core business. So we supply our chocolate as an ingredient to chefs around the Philippines and some countries in the world to use our chocolate for their pastries, desserts, ice cream, even entrees sometimes have chocolate. So that's our main product line. So we also have our ready-to-eat products that come in smaller packages. So these are your 85-gram bars that what people will know as the shape of chocolate. Then we also have our gift sets, which are a big seller in the tourism industry. So ginagawa siyang pasalubong, ginagawa siyang corporate giveaway, even wedding gifts. We offer customizable options as well. So if you want to make your event extra special, you could have your name on the chocolate packaging and then commemorate it with like a date or something, or like maybe a company logo. We're also expanding to our confectionery line. So this is more candy oriented naman. So marshmallows, Rice Krispies coated in chocolate, different other things. So it's a slow expansion, but we're happy to, explore different avenues of how to apply our product.
No, which is good because there's a lot of trends. Kasi di ba nag-iiba na yung even the younger generation daw. There's also a shift of consumer behavior.
Yeah.
So what are your innovations? What are you doing to make sure that somehow you address the demand, for this new trends in the chocolate business?
So like I said earlier, we are expanding into more of a confectionery line and pouring our efforts in research and development in that department. We also are looking into exploring the byproducts of the different fruits that we can harvest in the property. So just recently, we actually launched Bignay juice concentrate and cacao juice concentrates. These are the pressed juices of cacao and Bignay. It's a different application. Syempre, it doesn't taste like chocolate as we know it in our minds, but it's still the fruit in a different form. So we are exploring things in that department. We are also looking into the health benefits of cacao. So we actually partnered with DOST, looking into the byproducts of cacao and how it could contribute to like your functional health.
There's really a lot of potential because, again, based on this research, globally, the country ranks 72nd in exports with a global market share of less than 0.01%. Despite a history of cocoa bean production dating back to the 17th century, the Philippines' current output is limited compared with other global and even regional players, generating a total of just over $24 million in exports in 2015. So talagang ano pa siya, kumbaga parang maliit pa at mapapalaki pa. And this research also states that the Philippines is one of the countries in Asia seen to have a competitive advantage for cacao production due to its strategic location, good climate condition, and favorable soil. So, my question here related to that is, ano ba yung mga challenges ninyo that somehow hampers or hinders you to develop the industry? And what are your hopes and visions for the future of Malagos Chocolate and the broader cacao industry in the Philippines?
I think one of the main challenges that we're facing now is the instability of cacao prices globally. So it's a very macroeconomic challenge that we can't really address on an individual level. Because for context, in January 2024, I think the price of cacao per kg was around 200 to 240 pesos. And then it peaked sometime in April or May of this year to like 500 plus.
Wow.
So, nag 2.5x siya in a matter of months. And syempre, happy yung farmer at to supply the same product at 2.5x the price.
Pero nagpo-process kayo
Yeah, but as a farmer processor, syempre, yung cost naman are keep increasing. So that's a very big challenge for chocolate makers around the world, not just limited to Malagos. We are exploring different avenues and expanding our product line around that.
What is the future of Malagos? Parang I'm sure with all these new developments that you are sharing now, and from Sir Rex to Sir Jam here, there's been a lot of things that happened already, especially post-pandemic. I interviewed Rex, I think, during the pandemic. We were via Zoom, and it's great to see you here, Jam, face-to-face. So, in terms of pandemic, ano ba yung pagbabago na ng industriya? Are you, one of those industries or companies, that somehow benefited also post-pandemic?
During the onset of the pandemic, we suffered a lot because our business is very tourism reliant.
Yeah.
So, syempre, we have a bunch of stores in Davao, and we were actually supposed to open a store in Manila in March 2020. Butan lang hindi natuloy.
Oh yeah, tsaka nag-close kasi during the time, March.
So,
shut down.
Yeah, pagbagsak ng lockdown, syempre everything stopped. There were no more tourists. Our key clients who are restaurants and hotels, syempre bumaba din yung business nila. So, there was a long recovery period, but I'm happy to say that nag-recover kami throughout the tourism boom ng 2022 and 2023. And moving forward, I think we can expect further expansion from us in terms of retail areas, hopefully, and further expansion in the export avenue. Like, we have a very long way to go there, and we're very hopeful of our overseas clients.
You mentioned also Jam, kasi sabi mo, tourism or tourist dependent ang produkto ninyo.
Yeah.
How do you see the developments in terms of tourism initiatives in the Philippines? Have you seen somehow a lot of developments that also, although it's one of also of the key investment priorities, di ba, yung tourism?
Yeah.
So are you seeing a good development in terms of this?
Yeah, I can definitely see that the tourism has come back, especially for us. With the Chocolate Museum, which was founded, I think, in 2017, 2018, pinupuntahan siya talaga, not just tourists, but also people who live in Davao and the area that want to learn more about the Filipino heritage in cacao. Pinupuntahan siya. So we're very thankful for the success in that department.
Jam, thank you so much for gracing Open for Business, and we also thank the Department of Trade and Industry Undersecretary Chris Roque, for facilitating this interview. Now, your camera is there. What is your message to the farmers and also to DTI and to the consumers? Sabi mo nga, they should buy local products instead of buying the foreign brands. Why don't you just enjoy, how tasty and how healthy the Philippine chocolates are?
I'd like to thank DTI for helping put this whole interview together. We're very appreciative of your support from day one. My message to farmers and people in the industry would be to continue innovating and continue your hard work. We are in this together, and your success is our success, and our success is your success as well.
That's the best way to end this conversation, and we hope everyone will be enjoying the Malagos chocolates. This has been chock-full of discussion about the success of the legendary Malagos chocolate. And we thank you very much, Jams, and we look forward to seeing more of the legacy of your family, especially in promoting agriculture. I am so amazed that you said from cut flour to cacao and other things, and you may diversify into a lot of products, and you continue to innovate. Open for Business will be back. Stay tuned. And the buzzword of the week is fair trade. Fair trade is a term for an arrangement designed to help producers in developing countries achieve sustainable and equitable trade relationships. From their commitment to sustainable farming practices to their dedication to crafting world-class chocolate, Malagos AgriVentures is a shining example of how our passion, tradition, and innovation can come together to create something truly special. As we've seen today, the Puentespina family's legacy is not just about producing fine chocolate, but also about preserving the environment and empowering communities. Their story is a testament to the fact that success in business is not just measured in profits, but in the positive impact it can make on the world. And with that, our quote of the week is, "In chocolate, we find the taste of craftsmanship where passion meets precision." Thank you, Jam. Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat sa iyo. At maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama ninyo sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo. Dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo. Samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you're informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat.